I opposed going to war in Iraq. Senator McCain was one of Washington's biggest supporters for the war. I warned that the invasion of a country posing no imminent threat would fan the flames of extremism and distract us from the fight against al-Qaeda and the Taliban. Senator McCain claimed that we would be greeted as liberators and that democracy would spread across the Middle East. Those were the judgments we made on the most important strategic question since the end of the Cold War. Now is the time for a responsible redeployment of our combat troops that pushes Iraq's leaders towards a political solution, rebuilds our military, and refocuses on Afghanistan and our broader security threats. We must be as careful getting out of Iraq as we were careless getting in. We can safely redeploy our combat brigades at a pace that would remove them in 16 months. After this redeployment, we will keep a residual force to perform specific missions in Iraq, targeting any remnants of al-Qaeda, protecting our service members and diplomats, and training and supporting Iraq's security forces so long as the Iraqis make political progress. True success will take place when we leave Iraq to a government that is taking responsibility for its future, a government that prevents sectarian conflict and ensures that the al-Qaeda threat, which has been beaten back by our troops, does not reemerge. We will commit $2 billion to a meaningful international effort to support the more than 4 million displaced Iraqis. We will forge a new coalition to support Iraq's future, one that includes all of Iraq's neighbors, and also the United Nations, the World Bank, and the European Union, because we all have a stake in stability. And we will make it clear that the United States seeks no permanent bases in Iraq. The threat of Iran is real and is grave. The time has come for tough, principled, and direct diplomacy to lay out our clear terms. An end to Iran's pursuit of nuclear weapons, an end to their support of terrorism, and an end to their threats against Israel and other countries. To achieve this, I think we have to offer sticks, like economic sanctions, and we should not take our military options off the table, but it also has to provide carrots, incentives, like the prospects of better relations and integration in the international community. We will be in a stronger position to achieve tough international sanctions if the United States shows that we are willing to come to the table. And make no mistake, if and when we ever have to use military force against any country, we must exert the power of American diplomacy first. That's how we gain legitimacy. That's how we are going to be more effective. That's how we can be a good friend to Israel. As president, I will make the fight against al-Qaeda and the Taliban the top priority that it should be. This is a war we have to win. We need to give our national security agencies the tools they need while restoring the adherence to the rule of law that helps us win the battles for hearts and minds. And that means closing Guantanamo, restoring habeas corpus, and respecting civil liberties. And we need to support the forces of moderation in the Islamic world so that alliances of convenience mature into friendships of conviction. After 8 years of the disastrous policies of George Bush, it is time, I believe, to pursue direct diplomacy with friend and foe alike without preconditions. Now, there must be careful preparation. We will set a clear agenda. As president, I would be willing to lead that diplomacy at a time and place of my choosing. It's time to send a clear message. America seeks a world with no nuclear weapons. As long as nuclear weapons exist, we must retain a strong deterrent. And I will never waver from that commitment. But instead of threatening to kick them out of the G8, we need to work with Russia to take U.S. and Russian ballistic missiles off hair-trigger alert, to dramatically reduce the stockpiles of our nuclear weapons and material, to seek a global ban on the production of fissile material for weapons. And by keeping our commitment under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, we'll be in a better position to press nations like North Korea and Iran to keep theirs. It is time to reduce the strain on our troops by completing the effort to increase our ground forces by 65,000 soldiers and 27,000 Marines, while ensuring the quality of our troops. We need to ensure adequate training and time at home between deployments. That is why we need to expand our special forces. And that is why we must increase investments in capabilities like civil affairs and training foreign militaries. But we cannot place the burden of a new national security strategy on our military alone. We must integrate our diplomatic, information, economic, and military power. And that is why, as soon as I take office, I will call for a national strategy and security review to help determine a 21st century interagency structure to integrate the elements of our national power. For the sake of our security, and for every American family that is paying the price at the pump right now, we must end this dependence on foreign oil. And as president, that's exactly what I'll do. I will invest $150 billion over the next 10 years, $15 billion a year, to put America on the path of true energy security. And this fund will fast-track investments in a new green energy business sector that will end our addiction to oil and create up to 5 million jobs over the next 2 decades, and help secure the future of our planet and our country.